What's going on YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. With most young adults, as they get ready to enter the world, they mimic what they see at home for the most part. The principles and morals they were raised on and family dynamics. For example, if your grandparents were married for 40 years and then your parents themselves were married through your whole upbringing, then more than likely you will be more inclined to want to jump that broom than most people. Because in your mind and from what you saw, that's the right way to live. Some individuals decide early on in life that's what they want to do. You might come from a small town where you have been with the same person since y'all were kids. And around 18, y'all feel like y'all have known each other forever and decide to make that big move. Probably against everybody else's advice who is telling y'all to wait and see what life brings. Because as a young man or woman, you might be in love with your partner in the idea of marriage and living happily ever after, but really have no idea what it really takes to make a marriage work. Arguments, financial struggles, learning a person over and over every day because people change. Some people can weather the storm. Others give up and sign them papers when things become too much. But some individuals play a game. They just live life like they are single. Meet new people, make new plans, while their spouse sits back thinking everything is okay and they are in this together. But one thing people never realize, marriage is just not a piece of paper. It's a commitment to who you choose to be in that union with. And there's certain protocols you have to follow. But in a person's mind that's selfish, they make their own rules. And the marriage is over when they say so. It's not on the law. And some will go to the extreme to move on. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2013 to Montgomery, Alabama to discuss the case of a husband and side chick's evil plan to get rid of his wife. Back in 2013, 20-year-old Ashley McCarthy was navigating life in Montgomery. Born and raised there, Ashley was a country girl at heart, big on the way she was raised and the things she was taught, like helping people, being kind to others, and staying committed to whatever you choose to do in life. That trickled all the way down to her relationship. Ashley had known and been with the love of her life since grade school. At the time, 23-year-old Marquise Cheatham, a country boy as well, with Southern charm. The two grew up together, families knew each other, and were the couple around town everybody knew and loved. Back in 2011, Ashley fresh out of high school, the young couple went and got eloped in a small ceremony to bond their love forever. Now married with future plans on starting a family, they had to think of a career path. Ashley, good with people, went the route of helping the elderly as a caregiver. As Marquise decided himself he wanted to enlist in the military. It would be good for the two with the benefits that came with that. His branch would be the Marines. The couple were excited, but it was also a downside to the situation. Marquise had to go away to a base called Camp Lejeune, located in North Carolina. While he situated things up there for him and Ashley, she would stay back in Alabama and live with her father. Marquise loved everything about the Marines, the discipline, the perks of being a man in uniform, and definitely his salary. Back in 2013, $47,000 a year was good money. At first, things between him and Ashley seemed cool. He would send money home, come and visit, talk to her all the time on the phone, but eventually, slowly but surely, that went out the window. As Marquise met new friends, adapted to his new town, and realized the world was bigger than Montgomery. Ashley stayed calm and felt like he was just busy with work. But in reality, Marquise had attended a party and met someone who had his attention. At the time, 21-year-old Dominique. The young lady was raised in North Carolina. She was spoiled by her mother and father, who, even though not together, remained in the same home and showered the young lady with gifts. Described as a social butterfly who drew attention, Dominique would meet someone at the young age of 16 and became pregnant with her first child. Her mother and father still took the opportunity to spoil her and their grandbaby. She didn't have to get a job and was able to stay at home. As a few years went by, with her bubbly personality, she attracted many more young men. And by 2013, she had 3 kids, and little did Marquise know she was pregnant with the 4th at the time he met her. As they became more serious, both would open up about their secrets. She revealed she was pregnant, and he revealed he was married, telling her the relationship had ran its course though, and he was waiting for the divorce to go through. But back in Montgomery, Ashley hadn't spoke to Marquise or received any papers. She didn't know anything about Dominique as well, so in her eyes, everything was okay. Marquise was just what Dominique was looking for, and what she grew up seeing, the men from the military base, and she knew they made good money and had stability, which was good for her and her 4 kids. He stepped right in to save Dominique, playing stepdaddy to all 4 of her kids, even getting the young lady her own apartment. Dominique's friends couldn't believe her luck. She finally found the charming military man to spoil her and her kids. It's exactly the life she wanted and was used to. But while he was splurging on his new life, Ashley was back home struggling, not receiving any benefits as his wife. She was patient, tried calling Marquise, but was ignored for months. When finally, out of desperation, she called his commanding officer to report he was breaking one of their golden rules, which was honor and taking care of your family. Marquise was called in and disciplined heavily. With the accusations, he could have been kicked out the Marines, as they were very serious about family. Holding himself to a high standard and rank, this made the man furious, and he couldn't believe Ashley did that. He decided not to just get a divorce, but to come up with a plan to get Ashley out the way for good. He went and talked to Dominique and told her they needed to do something about his wife, because she was now affecting their livelihood. Scared to lose what she had with Marquise, she agreed. He then told her they had to take a trip to Alabama. The new couple drove 9 hours to Montgomery on March 31st. They went to Marquise's mother's house. Before then, he called Ashley, telling her he was flying into town, telling her to pick him up from a local airport so they can discuss working out their marriage and financial situation. Still not knowing anything about Dominique, Ashley was excited to meet up with her husband. Dominique drove him to the airport and dropped him off, then drove back to his mother's house. The husband and wife went to a nearby Waffle House to talk. While in conversation, Marquise brought up the fact Ashley called his superior and was messing with his career. The conversation quickly turned into an argument. As they walked back to Ashley's car, once they got in, Marquise pulled out his service weapon and pointed it at the young lady's head and told her to drive to his mother's house. Once there, he ordered her out the car, as Dominique was in his car close by watching. He made Ashley get in the trunk of her own car as he drove off, with Dominique following close behind. While in the trunk, she remembered her vehicle had an emergency release hatch in the trunk. She pulled it as they stopped and then jumped out and tried to run away. Marquise jumped out the car and ran behind her. He started letting off shots at his own wife, hitting her twice in the back as she yelled for help. It was a little bit after 11 p.m., so the streets was pretty quiet. She ran up the street trying to make it to a nearby house before collapsing. She got back up as Dominique watched. Ashley made it to her home and fell on the steps. She looked up to see her own husband standing over top of her as he fired shots into the young lady's head and ran back to his car and fled with Dominique. The two headed back to North Carolina. The next morning in Montgomery, a woman was walking her kids to school when she noticed a woman laying on some steps. She called local police, who responded to the location to find Ashley, unfortunately, already gone at the scene. Her father was notified as he lived just a few blocks from the location. He pulled up and quickly gave police their first lead. He noticed her phone and purse was gone, and also told them when he last talked to her, she told him she was going to meet with her husband to discuss their marriage. Police got cell phone records for Marquise that showed he was in the exact same area where Ashley was found at. Realizing he lived with a woman in North Carolina, they also got Dominique's cell phone records as well, which showed she was also at the same location. 2 days after the meetup, local police in North Carolina went to pick the couple up and took them in for questioning. At first, Marquise denied driving down to Montgomery until police revealed they had his cell phone records. He then flipped the story, saying he went to talk to his wife, but she snapped and put hands on him. After that, he claimed he blacked out, upped his gun, and then shot. In a panic, after realizing what he did, he admitted he took Ashley's phone and purse, got in the car with Dominique, and threw the items out the window, including his gun. In the other room, Dominique claimed to have no knowledge on what Marquise was planning to do. She said she just went for the ride and she thought they was going to talk to his wife to reveal their relationship. When asked why didn't she try to help or stop him from doing what he was doing, she became quiet. Well, police already knowing what happened from witnesses on the street in Montgomery who saw a woman running that night and a man chasing with a gun, and now a verbal confession, Marquise and Dominique were both taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder. Ironically, the same thing he was trying to avoid happened, a dishonorable discharge from the Marines. Dominique's family and friends were in shock. Some claimed she didn't have it in her to participate and do something like that, but others felt Marquise had her under his control, and to continue to be with him, she went along with his plan. Ashley's father spoke to prosecutors on how his daughter loved her husband and had no idea he had moved on. She was under the impression he was getting things together for her to move up, but some felt the situation was all about financial gain, in which the husband and wife both had life insurance policies out on each other. As the case made its way to court, it was open and shut, no trial needed, as both Dominique and Marquise pled guilty to all charges, and both were sentenced to life in prison. Rest in peace to Ashley. I send my prayers and condolences to her family. Gone at 20 years old by the hands of not only her childhood friend who she grew up with, but her husband, someone she thought would love and protect her. I can only imagine the kind of betrayal she felt, seeing another woman as her husband walked her to the trunk of the car with a gun. Marquise thought he wanted marriage, but then when he got outside his city, he had other plans. Maybe it was for money, because if he would have married Dominique with her and her 4 kids, his benefits would have skyrocketed. But if that was the case, he could have really divorced Ashley instead of stringing the young lady along. But then he would have had to pay her. Dominique thought her dreams came true. 22 with 4 kids, she probably couldn't believe her luck when she met Marquise and he got her an apartment and spoiled her, not knowing her ambitions to be spoiled by a man will lead to a life sentence. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, super crazy story. Rest in peace to Ashley. I send my prayers and condolences to her family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all definitely leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.